Christian wife, have you ever wished, hoped, or prayed that your husband step into that leadership position in your marriage? Maybe you've spoken about it, you've argued, but it's just not being that leader that you expect him to be in your home. This video is for you. Sometimes ago, I was on a walk with my husband, and it was not the best of days to take a walk because the weather was bad and the walkways were messy, and some parts of the walkways were covered with black ice. And trust me, you don't want to sleep on black ice. So naturally, my husband was concerned. He asked me if I would like to step ahead, and then he walks behind me, just watching my steps. And I remember letting him know that I would rather walk behind because I was actually taking every single step that he took. That way I was sure that I was not sleeping. And at that moment, it looked like something changed. My husband became very conscious of every step that he was taking. He would look back from time to time just to be sure that I was taking the right steps. And it looked like just letting him know that I was following each of his steps helped him to step into the leadership position at that moment. And it was then that the Holy Spirit whispered to me, there is no leader without a follower. A young Christian wife, how much of a follower are you? I know some of us grew up in families, situations or circumstances that just made us a leader even from a young age. Perhaps as a first child, perhaps as a first girl. And you are used to taking decisions that affect every other person. We are used to being at the ends of our fears. Maybe even in our workplaces, we are in leadership. Some of us have more experience leading than following. So automatically in our marriages, we're used to making the decisions, we're used to taking the reins, and we don't have much experience being led. And sometimes it's just about trust. Maybe we've trusted someone in the past. Maybe in our childhood, we've trusted a relative, and the person made decisions that actually caused harm and hurt to us. So now we find it hard to trust anybody else with decisions that affect our life purpose and destiny. In other words, we find it hard to trust our husbands. But what if I tell you that it's not really about your husband, but it is about who is leading your husband? Abraham moved from nations to nations to nations with his family. But it's not really about Abraham now, is it? It's about God that was leading Abraham. If God is leading your husband, then you should be able to trust God. Because one thing God will never do is to lead backwards. And he also never leads astray. But if your husband is not led by God, or if he's not a child of God, then you have bigger problems than leading and following. And the earlier you address this, the better for you. What I'm trying to let you know today is this. If there can be no teacher, if there is no student, if there can be no pastor, if there are no members, why do you think there can be a leader if there is no follower? If you want your husband to step into that leadership role, into that leadership position, then you need to begin to learn how to follow. There's a reason God made the husband the head of the wife. Don't usurp the authority. Don't hijack the steering wheel of authority in your marriage so that you don't create a dysfunction in your family. Do have a blessed day ahead. God bless you. Bye.